think that is? Amadeus.
Hello, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Housed Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Schott, and what we do each week is we talk about New York City real estate and how it affects your daily life in the city. And today we have a very lovely guest, a special guest, I would say. His name is Jonathan Zeno. Jonathan, introduce yourself. Who are you?
My name is Jonathan Zeno. I'm a recent graduate of college.
College is always a good thing.
It is, and I'm just taking my real estate class now.
Yeah, how's that been going? Where have you been taking it?
Online. I'm doing an online course.
Are you gonna drop any names about who it is?
Hondros.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, it was like a Groupon deal, $75.
$75?
$75.
Did they give you a book?
They gave me a whole online course, 20 chapters, a study book, real estate dictionary, and study problems.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So how far are you along in this process right now?
I am halfway. It's been about a week and a half. So figure 3 weeks.
Nice.
And I'll be taking the state exam.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so a little background about you. You're a college graduate from Pratt.
Yeah, Pratt here in Brooklyn. Worked at a few firms. I just recently stopped an internship. Well, it wasn't stopped. It was forced.
We call that terminated?
I was terminated, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, I'm looking for full-time employment, or I'm either going to get on this real estate game.
Yeah, well, we did a nice little tour of Greenwood, Brooklyn today. We saw a lot of development sites and single family, 2 families for home. We saw a really nice property on 22nd Street, but price tag on that one.
Yes, very high quality work. You know, it had a Sub-Zero fridge, nice slate countertops.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a cheap build, I wouldn't say.
Well, we were prospecting the area with a potential, or not a potential, he is a developer, just mostly Manhattan, but doesn't really know about Brooklyn that much. But we were walking around local coffee shops, the bars, all the projects going on, and we were sitting out in front of it was a 3-story townhome. It used to be a 3-family. They gutted it. All they kept were the walls, and we were just luckily sitting there when the contractor was going in, and he asked us if we wanted to go take a look.
Yeah, this is a very nice tour. Very intense.
Very intense. Well, our guest was very, very savvy on the ins and outs of doing the construction numbers.
Oh yeah, he knew his number as well.
So you are a graduate from Pratt, so you tell us a little bit about you. You were an architecture major?
Architecture major, construction management minor. Did a lot of classes in real estate, maybe 3 or 4, just, what to invest in, what's a good investment, just touching base, nothing in depth.
But mostly design aspects.
Because, design can actually make you very profitable.
Yeah, well, that's when they say staging a home, how it's What did you think about the house we saw today? What were your major takebacks?
Very nice. Good layout. I did like how the master bedroom was on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
You have kids growing up trying to sneak out the house. You can hear them before they go downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were thinking about that, but...
Well, the master bathroom also had pretty much a transparent bathroom where you could go and look. You could have a shower.
Yeah.
It had a glass window and it could see into the back, and then you could just see all the way out the back.
Yeah, it was nice. You can see the bathroom from the bedroom.
Just to put on a little show or just get that sunlight in there, one of the two.
Yeah, no, definitely the sunlight. It's a big.
Yeah.
Big
well,
plus.
Let's see. It didn't sell, so who knows if they're going to relist for the spring market.
Of course.
So
they had good finishes in that building. 4 hinge doors. That's a good.
Yeah.
It's a good quality door.
4 hinges. When that's
hard to mount.
That's when you're moving on up to that apartment in the sky.
It's...
When you get 4 hinges on your door. I definitely only have 2 right now. I'm pretty sure the door to my pantry only has one. We had three, but two of them fell off.
Yeah. No, it was nice.
So you're going to real estate school now. You don't have all the answers, but there's one specific type of housing in New York that's very special. Do you have any questions about this?
The co-op. I was kind of confused of what a co-op actually is. Is it a corporation? Is it not for profit? What actually is it?
So basically, in New York, the first concept of a co-op was started by the Finnish immigrants. Good to know. Good point. The first co-ops in New York, forget the specific address. We can put it in the show notes, but is in Sunset Park, and the Finnish immigrants came in and they started the idea of a cooperative where they would all pool their money together and build this building. You know, there's loan.
Right.
They actually had some loans to build the building, but nobody owns real property.
Right. It's just a place to stay, a share to stay in that building.
Yes. So basically, if you went to go buy a co-op on 123 Main Street, which is the go-to address on this show,
Right.
you you purchase shares in a corporation. So it's very similar if you were in the stock market.
Right.
But with those shares, you also get a lease back of a space. So essentially, you're buying shares in this company. In exchange, you get a lease back, and that specific apartment, 5J or
Right.
something like that, that,
Is yours.
yes, for that specific amount of time. And usually, it's written in there.
So is there no title?
You don't own the real property. So the co-op owns the whole building as one unit. And that one unit is technically one tax block with the city.
Okay.
So for instance, if you bought a condo, you own that real property. You own
Right.
that 500 square feet, 1,000 square feet in the building.
What is it called? Your rights to the property is the deed. Right? You have possession, you have control, quiet enjoyment. This is what I've been reading in the
listen,
course. I don't know.
And it's a learning
Bundle of rights, it's called.
Yes.
The bundle of rights.
So you're speaking about the condo or the co-op?
The co-op. You don't get a bundle of rights with the co-op?
With the co-op, you are basically leasing back from the company. You're like a tenant from the company, right? But as a tenant, though,
Right.
you also can participate in the board
Right.
and things like that.
Who you let in the building, right?
Yes,
It's a vote, isn't it?
It can be a vote. They try to fair housing. There's always like a gray line with co-ops, but
Right.
somehow they get away with it.
So say if they didn't want someone based on a specific
Yeah.
fact in their life, they can deny them if they want.
Yes, exactly.
But in New York, we have that clause to help with that.
Yeah.
And you're saying it doesn't cover.
No, co-ops
Co-ops.
don't have to give you any reason, so they could just say
Okay.
no.
We don't like you
And you're
because
done.
you wore red lipstick.
Exactly.
Got it.
Or said something sassy in the interview.
Yeah.
But basically, in a co-op, you are leased out everything within the interior walls. You're responsible for it, but the co-op is technically responsible for the interior of the apartment, pipes, exterior, like the pointing or the window.
Right.
So, for instance, there was an example where someone who I helped, they just bought their place. The windows were a little old, but the co-op, they do it as a whole. So they had to wait till the whole co-op replaces the windows. But anyways, there was a crack in the window, and the co-op had to pay for it.
Got it.
And
Even if you break it on accident,
hey, listen, yeah, sure,
the co-op pays for it.
yeah, shouldn't be breaking things on purpose, but
Right, but I'm saying,
yeah.
wow.
And your monthly maintenance, you're basically paying that into the co-op, and that covers your taxes, heating,
Got it.
water, all the insurance with the building.
Right,
it's all
right.
covered in that monthly fee
Got
that
it.
everyone pays to. And then also it refills the coffers of the co-op. For instance, like because you're the corporation, who knows, maybe they need a roof in 15 years, but
Right.
you want to make sure that everybody has the funds available if it does happen. So that's
Got
why
it.
when you close on a building, you want to make sure that there's funds in the building, because if for God forbid the boiler breaks, you need to have money available, and
Right.
if the co-op doesn't have enough money, then it's no bueno. So you need to make
So
sure that,
could the co-op go bankrupt?
I mean, technically, yeah. If they don't have enough money and they get sued for something,
Wow.
and then you have responsibilities as a member of that corporation.
Yeah.
So, but in New York City, a co-op is definitely a good option. I mean, the couple downfalls with it is that there's not great rules for leasebacks. Or, I mean, sorry, for renting for investor purposes. Usually, it's your primary residence, or somewhere in the articles of the
Yeah.
corporation they could say, don't you have to live here for 4 years until you rent back. Maybe you can rent one out of every 5 years, or you have to live here and then you can rent it for 4 years.
I see.
So
I had a friend that lived in the Clinton Hill co-ops.
nice place.
A doctor owned it.
Okay,
2-bedroom, $2,300.
good for them to own it.
No, they were renting.
Yeah, well, there's flexible terms.
They rented in the co-op.
It's a good price for Clinton Hill.
Good price. That was back in 2012, though. But he didn't bump the rent up.
Because he's just a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's a doctor. I don't know his name, but
Just helping people.
I'm sure he was doing it for investment purposes, but
Yeah.
was making enough, I guess.
Well, yeah, that doctor money.
Yeah.
Got to get that doctor money.
You gotta.
It's too late for me.
Is it?
Yeah. And another one point about co-ops is that this monthly maintenance is also tax deductible, usually about 50%.
Off your income.
Yeah, so if you make for
Cool.
instance, if you get $1,000 a month in co-op maintenance,
Yeah.
you could usually write about 50% of that off
$500 is coming off your income.
each month.
So you're taking home more from your
Job.
Your job.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's benefits of home ownership.
But we do like paying taxes here in New York, as you know.
Everybody, they want to get those
Okay.
taxes from somebody.
It's true.
So, did you have any other questions about co-ops?
I think we're good. I mean, co-ops, it just sounds like it's a corporation where you just buy a share in.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It's like a stock market almost, but for housing.
Yeah, and the exchange, you get the lease back. I mean, but the main point to take home is that you don't own the real property.
Got it.
And then also with the city, it's blocked off. So, 123 Main Street could be a whole block, and that's considered one tax bill for the city. So the identity of the apartment with the government is one, or with the building is one unit,
Right.
versus a condo with a building with 50 condos has 50 different tax bills.
Oh, wow. I see.
You know what I'm saying?
So what if you own 3 or 4 units in the
Co-op.
yeah.
You just own X amount of shares and you pay taxes on each amount of share.
More.
Yeah. Right. So, for instance, like if in the one co-op Parkside in Sunset, they have 2 units. If your unit is this size, you pay X
Got
amount, and then the other units are this size, and you have more shares.
More shares.
but you pay more taxes and monthly. So
Okay, so it's all relative.
yeah, and I'm trying to think anything else that's very special. Listen, if you enjoyed the podcast here, if we got anything wrong, you want to rate, you want to subscribe, you want to come back and tell us something else that we might know, because it's a learning process. Real estate's always learning. Always.
Because rules are always changing, right?
Rules and laws are always changing.
Yeah.
But the one thing that people always need is a house. That's why we call this podcast Housed, the past tense.
Place to live is important.
It is. So that's all we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in, Jonathan. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We will. I'm grateful. So everybody, if you are happy with the podcast, you had fun, share it with your friends. Tune in next week and send us some questions. Maybe we can have you on the podcast, or you can inspire a question, and we'll do that. And we're gonna try to come at you twice a week. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. This is the House Podcast. Welcome home.